What's up guys, welcome to the channel. It's Sunday, which means we're back with a market update. Today we're going to look and talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum and Gold. Like usual, like and subscribe because at the moment when I'm recording this we're on 99 subscribers, so hitting 100 would be very nice. And let's get into the video. Let's start with Bitcoin as always. Now Bitcoin, let's zoom out quickly for those who forgot. We had a big crash 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, even more than 3 to 4 weeks ago. We've recovered, we made a high here compared to what we saw here, and then a dump. This week, we were here last week, we were really pushing to gain that $67,000. I don't really remember what I said in the last video. I think I said that I do expect new highs, but that it's not a must or not something we should take for granted. And we saw that we unfortunately couldn't gain this. It would have been way better if we gained this and then made this pullback, but it is what it is. Yeah, we've pulled back a little bit. Nothing crazy. I don't think this week was anything spectacular in terms of price percentage dumps, bumps. And now we sweep something here, and now we're up in a local uptrend again of 3-4%. I think Bitcoin hasn't really done anything last week. Nothing spectacular, and that's where I also want to not talk about the point of the video, but a point I want to make is it time for summer price action? Of course, it's not something which is universally true or a fact. But I feel personally like in the summer, price action is just not there, it's just ranging. And I'm not saying it's going to be in this, 10%, 12% range for the entire summer. I'm not saying that. But I won't be surprised. Let's say we're now almost the end of June. So when I say summer, I speak for July, August, maybe start of September. Which is, can I put a vertical arrow here? Vertical line, where is it? Let's say half September. So this is half September. I wouldn't be surprised if we stay in this range. Let me make a box. I wouldn't be surprised if we stay in this, let's say this range in the next two and a half months. And you might say, oh, this is a big range. Is it really? 25% range in 3 months? And of course now, let's say Bitcoin starts pumping next week and we make new lows or we make new highs, and you say, I see, what are you waffling? What bullshit are you spitting? And I didn't backtest this, so this is maybe a fully gamble. But if you look back to last summer, of course we make new all-time highs. But what did we see? Start of July to half September here. Of course these are daily candles, so there's still some movement as you see. But yeah, 15% range for July till August. 15% range. You can look to last summer. Wait, I'm confused. What am I doing? Yeah, this was this summer. Last summer in 2024, back in 2024, from July here to September, 20%. And of course, I don't have to say too much because you see the months before we also saw this, so it's something that happens. I'm just saying if you zoom out completely on the weekly, if you remove this, that you see the big moves, this pump, this dump, the start of this bull run. They always happen not in the summer, because I don't think this is true, but people just say it to make it easier for beginners and just say, oh, market makers, big institutions, they're on holiday in the summer, they don't work as hard. Of course that's not true, but in the summer we just generally see less spectacular price action movements, and surely on crypto, and that's also personally what I expect. Does that mean you have to lay back and relax? No, because this is the perfect timing to look back at your trades, look back at previous cycles, just get more knowledge while also trading. But it's not like you have to be behind your charts 24/7. Are there trades that could be taken? Of course, surely there is trading opportunities, of course, but you're not going to catch that 30% runner, and that's not necessary. You can still perfectly trade this. This has nothing to do with trading, what I just said, but just for the bigger picture and for people who maybe are more into investing than purely day trading or scalping. It's not going to be a spectacular summer, I think, and I think what we're seeing right now is a perfect foreshadowing. Is that a nice term, the best term to describe this? 10% pump in, or 10% price movement in 12 days, which is almost 2 weeks. Of course 10% is not low, but on Bitcoin that's nothing spectacular. And I'm not saying, of course I also said that it's not healthy to just dump and then immediately pump back. To stop yapping, to come to a conclusion, I think we're slowly entering summer price action where we could see more like this. A couple of days we're up, then a couple of days down, then ranging. It's like there's not much volume in the market. Well, that's not entirely true, but it looks like that. And I think that could be the case for the next months. Still trading opportunities, but that's just what I wanted to put out. That I personally don't expect Bitcoin to quickly recover to the $80,000 in the next weeks or something. Is it possible? Surely possible, but that's just my personal conviction. So Bitcoin conclusion, would have preferred they made a new high here. They didn't do that, not the end of the world. They still have this important level, which I wouldn't be surprised to if they come look for that level, but for the moment we're just ranging between the $60,000 and the $67,000. Well, Ethereum, almost same thing, made the low after the dump. Let me zoom in maybe a bit further. They also didn't gain that level that Bitcoin also almost gained, but they saw a very strong pump that was last weekend, 10% pump. That's bueno, that's a very nice pump. Unfortunately, as mentioned, I didn't gain that. And then, yeah, I would prefer some more structure. Of course, this is not just a waterfall down, but if you look here, yeah, it's a bit of a noise, but yeah, it doesn't really say. It's not like we dumped here, we retest something. Of course, maybe here with this wick you can say that, but after that, here, yeah, we dumped straight to it, made a new push, didn't really sweep anything here. So it's not picture perfect how this dump went. How this dump went, which is not a must, but that's just, yeah, me saying it was not perfect, which doesn't mean much to be honest, but it's just, yeah, me saying that. Also, there's not much going on. Bitcoin and Ethereum, surely Ethereum, I've said it countless of times, and I hope one time in the future I can change and say, oh, Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin, but Ethereum is just sleeping, the little dog of Bitcoin, the little brother of crypto. It's just doing what it wants to do, and apparently they don't want to do anything. Of course, I saw a TikTok recently of a big crypto influencer, and it has nothing really to do with this, but I heard him say, oh, Bitcoin has a fixed supply. That's why it's going up and has moves. Ethereum, or you can stake your Ethereum and get more Ethereum back, or it doesn't have a finite supply. Ethereum gets created and burned, minted and burned every second, but that's not the reason. I think Ethereum has just, and of course I'm not a fundamental guy, maybe there's other arguments in that fundamental world that you can say, oh, Ethereum this, Ethereum that compared to Bitcoin, but just pure price action, Ethereum is not looking like it has no soul anymore. It's just that dump after dump. When you see Bitcoin or the crypto market recovering, Ethereum is just following, but following not that much percentage wise, and then when they dump, of course, then Ethereum follows. Then the dump is yeah, maybe even bigger on Ethereum, and you can perfectly see that we're in a crazy downtrend since the new all-time highs in 2025, and it's not really looking like Ethereum is showing any strength. Now on the local picture, because I think I'm talking a lot about the bigger picture, the bigger trends and the summer in this video, which is not bad, but now for the market update of this week, Ethereum did some things. They ranged a lot a couple of weeks ago, made that high, which was an important move, because this move showed that there was some buying pressure, that there were people are interested in buying Ethereum, because otherwise we would have just ranged here, and that's not really a nice spot to range, because yeah, one dump and you're already looking at maybe making new lows. But we're chilling over here. Of course, this is a big range. There are more levels inside this range because 15% is a big range. But for now, I'd say we're pretty safe on Ethereum. And yeah, also to link this to my summer theory, my summer prediction is, yeah, Ethereum is not going to do very big price movements up or down in the future, in the coming weeks, months. Again, that's not a guarantee. Don't just try to short here, long here, because I said I think we're going to range. No financial advice, it's just my personal conviction. I don't expect anything big to happen in the summer. Now gold is, no, I wanted to say same story, but that's not the case. If you zoom out on gold quickly, of course also in the downtrend, but they did show a very good recovery from this. They didn't sweep this level, they sweep countless of levels with this dump, of course. And then they showed a nice reaction in the opening last weekend. They pumped, which was nice to see, I guess. And then with news, I think on Wednesday we dumped. We saw some nice structure here, because of course we have our gap here. Let me indicate this. We have our gap because market close and the market open, we see a gap, and that gap most of the times gets filled. I mean, I know people who literally trade market open, market close, or CME gaps on crypto even, that just this gap, here I'm going to short and wait until price fills this gap. I mean, I don't like that trading stuff, but it has a pretty decent track record. Most of the times these gaps get filled, so I can't really speak bad of it, but it's a trading strategy that people use. They sweep something here at the start of this, and then they made a new lower low failure, which is a nice indication to gain, because if you gain this failure, I also expect to gain this, because this has not that much value anymore if you gain this failure, and then we can look at new highs. But for now, I wouldn't start stressing, that's not the right word, but gold, yeah, also not showing much strength. If you zoom out quickly, again, let's do that for the people that maybe forgot. We had a crazy rally, but we also have seen a crazy dump, to be honest. Of course, it weighs each other out. If you see a strong pump, then a strong dump, doesn't hit that hard. Let's say if we had to grind 5 years for this instead of just 1 year, and then we dump this quickly, that would have hit way harder. But still, from all-time highs, we're down 30%. Yeah, okay, not exaggerate. 26% on gold since start of this year. So what is that? 6 months, 26% dump on gold. That would have made the headlines if gold didn't push that crazy, had that crazy run earlier this year and last year. Gold is in a pretty big downtrend, which is nothing to worry about unless you bought the top, of course. But for traders, price action is still okay. To be honest, gold last week's, my levels, or the levels we indicated in price action, they weren't respected that much as other weeks, because I do say quite frequently that gold, oh, nice to trade, they respect the levels, but last week's haven't really seen that. But yeah, might be the case that gold is looking for new lows, or also has that summer fatigue, which I believe also is it's just a thing on all financial assets. Also on stocks, I think that on the summer, yeah, we just see less price action, less volatility, less movements on the chart. But for now, I think that was it. Summary: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Gold. I don't expect massive things next week's, and I think that the next market updates, I don't really have much to talk about, but I'll mention, or I'll say that in the next weeks, if we'll continue with a market update every week, or if I skip sometimes because there's literally nothing to talk about. In this video we had some things to say, in the future maybe, but join the Discord server for that. I'll surely mention there, and of course I'll show daily updates every day, and also just general more market updates there. And from July onwards, so that's in 9 days or 11 days, I don't know how many, 9 or 10 days, we'll do almost daily live sessions, more trading setups, more active community. From them we're really going to start pushing and making creating a nice environment for people to learn trading and to trade together. So surely join and check it out. Everything is completely free, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.